In this video, we will go over 15 critical mistakes related to olive oil that can not only harm your health, but also put your well-being at serious risk. This product is well known for its beneficial properties, but improper use can lead to severe consequences, ranging from digestive issues and blood vessel inflammation to serious liver dysfunction and an increased risk of cancer. Each point is based on real medical data, research conducted by American institutions, and actual cases of patients who have suffered due to common mistakes. You might already be making one of these mistakes without even realizing that it is gradually damaging your body. We have ranked these mistakes based on their level of danger, from those that can slowly undermine your health to the ones that pose the most serious risks. Watch the video until the end to avoid the most dangerous mistake and protect yourself and your loved ones. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. Mistake 1. Olive oil and bread, especially toast. The classic avocado toast with egg, tomatoes, or salmon. At first glance, what could possibly be harmful about a simple toast with olive oil? This combination has become a staple in many breakfasts, whether it is avocado toast, crispy bread with tomatoes, or even a version with salmon and eggs. However, behind this culinary classic lies a serious risk that few people consider. Baking or frying bread at high temperatures is a common step in making most types of toast. However, this process leads to the formation of acrylamide, a substance that the National Cancer Institute in the United States classifies as a potential carcinogen. Research from the University of California, Davis has shown that a single toasted slice of bread can contain between 30 and 162 micrograms of acrylamide, depending on the level of browning. The darker the crust, the higher the concentration of this harmful compound. When olive oil is added to hot toast, the situation becomes even more concerning. Exposure to high temperatures causes partial oxidation of the oil, leading to the formation of lipid peroxides and aldehydes, compounds that trigger oxidative stress and chronic inflammation in the body. American research conducted by scientists from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health has confirmed that regular consumption of such products can increase the risk of chronic inflammatory liver diseases by 34% and raise the likelihood of lipid metabolism disorders by 27%. A case from American medical practice clearly illustrates the consequences of this habit. In 2023, a 48-year-old man named Jeffrey Collins sought medical attention at a clinic in New York. For 5 years, he had been starting his mornings with a toast drizzled with olive oil. He was diagnosed with non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, a severe form of fatty liver disease associated with liver inflammation. Doctors determined that one of the contributing factors to his condition was prolonged exposure to oxidized fats and acrylamide glycation products, which overburdened his liver. Specialists note that in recent years, the number of similar cases has increased by 23%. This issue has a simple yet important solution. Instead of pouring olive oil onto hot toast, add it to bread that has already cooled down or use it as a dressing for fresh vegetable salads. Research from the National Institutes of Health in the United States has shown that consuming olive oil in its raw form reduces the risk of inflammatory processes by 18% and helps normalize liver function. If you find it difficult to give up crispy bread, opt for whole grain varieties and lightly dry them in the oven at a temperature no higher than 120 degrees Celsius, 248 degrees Fahrenheit, to minimize the formation of acrylamide. This way, you can continue enjoying your favorite foods without exposing your health to unnecessary risks. Mistake 2. Olive oil and eggs. In omelets, scrambled eggs, boiled eggs with avocado, and eggs Benedict omelets, eggs Benedict, scrambled eggs, or simply boiled eggs with avocado may seem like a harmless and even healthy breakfast. Many people prefer using olive oil when preparing these dishes, believing it to be a healthier alternative to butter. However, scientific research suggests otherwise. Combining eggs with olive oil at high temperatures can lead to serious health issues. Scientists from Pennsylvania State University have discovered that heating olive oil above 180 degrees Celsius, 356 degrees Fahrenheit, causes oxidation, leading to the formation of toxic aldehydes and polar compounds. These substances increase the risk of inflammatory diseases by 29%. They can damage liver, heart, and blood vessel cells, increasing the likelihood of chronic conditions. The longer the oil is exposed to heat, the higher the concentration of these harmful compounds. Another significant concern is the strain on the gallbladder and pancreas. Olive oil stimulates bile secretion, while eggs are a complex food to digest. Together, they create additional stress on the digestive system, which can be particularly dangerous for individuals with cholecystitis, pancreatitis, or irritable bowel syndrome. Research from the University of North Carolina has shown that 37% of patients with chronic gastrointestinal conditions experienced worsening symptoms, including pain, bloating, and digestive disturbances after regularly consuming eggs fried in olive oil. These findings are supported by real-life cases. In 2022, a 55-year-old man named Michael Robinson visited a clinic in Miami after years of cooking omelets exclusively with olive oil. He complained of persistent abdominal discomfort and pain in the upper right side of his abdomen. After a medical examination, doctors diagnosed him with chronic cholecystitis and gallstones. An urgent surgical procedure was required because his bile ducts had become blocked, leading to severe inflammation. The solution to this problem is simple but requires a mindful approach. If you enjoy eating eggs, it is better to boil them or steam them. If you cannot go without omelets, use oils with a high smoke point, such as avocado oil, which can withstand temperatures up to 271 degrees Celsius, 520 degrees Fahrenheit, without producing harmful compounds. Olive oil should only be added to dishes after they have been cooked. This way, it retains all its beneficial properties without posing risks to your health. Mistake 3. Olive oil and tomatoes in salads, sandwiches, and Mexican dishes. This combination seems perfect. Juicy, ripe tomatoes soaked in fragrant olive oil enhance non-Mediterranean cuisine, but also many American dishes. However, what if this pairing is not just delicious, but also potentially harmful to your health? The acidity of tomatoes is a hidden factor that many people overlook. Their pH level ranges between 4.2 and 4.6, making them aggressive on the stomach lining, especially when combined with the fatty environment of olive oil. For individuals prone to gastritis or acid reflux, this combination can worsen symptoms and, in severe cases, even contribute to the development of stomach ulcers. A 2023 study by the American College of Gastroenterology found that 67% of patients with gastroesophageal reflux disease experienced worsened symptoms when consuming acidic foods in a fatty medium, and more than 40% reported nighttime episodes of heartburn after eating such meals. Another hidden risk is fat oxidation. Olive oil, particularly unrefined varieties, is rich in monounsaturated fats, but when stored improperly or mixed with a watery acidic environment, it can react with oxygen, losing its beneficial properties and becoming a source of toxic compounds. The National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute in the United States published a 2022 study indicating that oxidized lipids, which form in improperly stored tomato oil mixtures, increase the risk of atherosclerosis by 32% and can accelerate the progression of coronary artery disease. Cardiologists from the Cleveland Clinic documented a case of a 54-year-old man from Denver, Colorado, who was admitted with chest pain and high blood pressure. It was revealed that for several years he had been consuming sandwiches with tomatoes and olive oil daily, using a pre-made mixture. Laboratory tests showed elevated levels of oxidized low-density lipoproteins, contributing to the rapid progression of atherosclerosis. Doctors strongly advised him to stop consuming olive oil in this manner and make changes to his diet. To avoid these issues, it is important to combine foods correctly. Olive oil should be added right before eating rather than being mixed with tomatoes in advance. Store the oil in a cool, dark place, away from air and light, to prevent oxidation. If you already experience stomach acidity issues, consider replacing raw tomatoes with cooked alternatives such as stewed or roasted tomatoes. Cooking reduces their acidity, making them less aggressive on the stomach lining. Mistake 4. Olive oil and chicken. In salads, sandwiches, burritos, and tacos. A crispy chicken crust fried in fragrant olive oil might seem like the perfect choice for a healthy meal. Many people believe that replacing regular vegetable oils with olive oil automatically makes a dish healthier. However, this assumption is a serious mistake that can negatively impact your health. When chicken is fried in olive oil at high temperatures, the oil's molecular structure begins to break down. This process results in the formation of aldehydes and polar compounds, substances that contribute to blood vessel inflammation and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. A 2023 study by the American Heart Association found that regularly consuming fried foods cooked with improperly used oils raises the likelihood of developing atherosclerosis by 34%. This is because oxidized fats promote plaque buildup in the arteries, increasing the risk of strokes and heart attacks. An even greater risk is hidden in marinades that contain olive oil. When oil is mixed with acidic ingredients such as lemon juice or vinegar, it begins to oxidize even before cooking. This leads to the loss of its antioxidant properties and the formation of harmful free radicals that damage the body's cells. A 2022 study from Johns Hopkins University revealed that 58% of tested marinades containing olive oil and acids had elevated levels of oxidized lipids, which accumulate in the body and accelerate inflammatory processes. Doctors at a clinic in Houston recently encountered a severe case involving a 46-year-old man who consumed chicken marinated daily in olive oil and lemon juice before frying it in a pan. He was admitted with complaints of shortness of breath and chest pain. Medical tests revealed inflammation of his artery walls and high levels of oxidized low-density lipoproteins, which could have led to the development of coronary artery disease. To avoid these health risks, it is important to use olive oil correctly. It is ideal for salads and baking at low temperatures, but it is not suitable for frying over high heat. If a marinade contains acidic ingredients, it is best to add olive oil at the end of the cooking process rather than in advance. For frying, opt for oils with a high smoke point, such as avocado oil or refined coconut oil. Mistake 5. Olive oil and cheese, mozzarella, feta, cream cheese, parmesan. In salads, on toast, in pasta. The combination of olive oil and cheese seems like a true culinary delight, whether it is a fresh caprese salad with mozzarella, a Greek salad with feta, or a crispy toast with cream cheese and a drizzle of oil. These dishes are often associated with healthy eating. However, behind this delicious pairing lies a serious risk to cardiovascular health, especially when consumed regularly. Cheese, particularly aged and hard varieties, contains a high amount of saturated fats. Parmesan, for example, has up to 29 grams of saturated fat per 100 grams of product, while feta contains around 14 grams. When combined with olive oil, which is itself a source of fat, the overall fat intake increases significantly. A 2023 study by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that people whose diets were high in saturated fats, combined with vegetable oils, had a 42% higher risk of chronic vascular inflammation. Over time, this leads to an increased likelihood of strokes and heart attacks. This combination is especially risky for individuals who already have heart problems or are predisposed to atherosclerosis. The National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute in the United States published data in 2022 showing that 61% of patients with coronary artery disease regularly consume cheese and vegetable oils in their diet. In these cases, vascular inflammation progresses more rapidly and cholesterol plaques form at an accelerated rate, leading to arterial blockages. A recent medical case illustrates this issue. A 52-year-old man from Atlanta had been eating salads with feta cheese, olive oil, and nuts daily for 10 years, believing his diet was perfectly healthy. However, medical examinations revealed critically high levels of inflammatory markers in his blood, and his arteries were nearly 70% narrowed. Doctors concluded that excessive consumption of saturated fats, combined with the fats from olive oil, had contributed to the rapid progression of atherosclerosis. To avoid such problems, it is essential to approach fat consumption wisely. Olive oil pairs best with low-fat foods such as vegetables, legumes, lean meats, or fish. If you are not ready to give up the combination of oil and cheese, reduce portion sizes and opt for lower-fat varieties such as ricotta or goat cheese. This can help reduce strain on your blood vessels and support heart health. Mistake 6. Olive oil and salmon, both fresh and lightly salted, in sushi, rolls, sandwiches, and salads. Salmon is one of the healthiest sources of fat, rich in essential omega-3 fatty acids that protect the heart and blood vessels. Olive oil, on the other hand, is known for its antioxidants and beneficial monounsaturated fats. At first glance, this seems like an ideal combination for good health. However, if these two foods are not paired correctly, they can lose their nutritional benefits and even contribute to serious issues with blood pressure and metabolism. Omega-3 fatty acids are highly sensitive to heat. A 2022 study conducted by the University of Minnesota found that when salmon is exposed to temperatures above 70 degrees Celsius, 158 degrees Fahrenheit, up to 65% of its omega-3 content begins to break down. If salmon is fried in olive oil, which is rich in polyunsaturated fats, the oxidation process accelerates twice as fast. As a result, instead of a nutrient-rich meal, the body receives a source of oxidized fats that promote inflammation and increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Another concern is the combination of olive oil with salted salmon. Lightly salted fish contains a significant amount of sodium, on average between 1,200 and 1,800 milligrams per 100 grams. When paired with the fatty environment of olive oil, this sodium can cause fluid retention in the body, leading to spikes in blood pressure. According to the American Heart Association, 57% of individuals with hypertension experience worsened symptoms when regularly consuming fatty meals high in sodium. Additionally, 29% have an increased risk of hypertensive crises when frequently eating lightly salted fish combined with oils. A recent case at a clinic in San Diego demonstrated how harmful this combination can be. A 49-year-old man who frequently ate sandwiches with olive oil and lightly salted salmon was admitted with swollen legs and sudden blood pressure spikes. Doctors diagnosed him with chronic fluid retention caused by an ongoing excess of sodium and fats, which placed extra strain on his heart and kidneys. To avoid these issues, it is best to use olive oil as a dressing for baked or boiled salmon rather than frying it in oil. If lightly salted fish is a regular part of your diet, consider reducing oil consumption or replacing it with lighter alternatives such as lemon juice or a yogurt-based sauce. This approach will help maintain a healthy fat balance, reduce strain on the blood vessels, and prevent blood pressure problems. Mistake 7. Olive oil and cucumbers in vegetable salads, rolls, and smoothies. Crisp, fresh cucumbers with olive oil. What could be lighter and healthier? This salad is a common choice in restaurants and home kitchens, often considered an ideal option for a nutritious diet. However, this combination is not as harmless as it might seem at first glance. Since cucumbers are composed of 96% water, they can interfere with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins found in olive oil and may also cause digestive discomfort. Fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K require the presence of fats to be properly absorbed by the body. However, the excess water in cucumbers dilutes digestive juices, slowing down the process of nutrient breakdown. A 2023 study by the University of North Carolina found that when olive oil is combined with high water content foods, the absorption of vitamin E, D decreases by 43%, while vitamin AA absorption drops by 35%. This means that even if a person eats nutrient-rich foods, they may not be getting the full benefits from them. Additionally, the combination of fats and a large amount of water can lead to bloating, especially in individuals with sensitive digestion. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases in the United States published data in 2022 indicating that 39% of people with irritable bowel syndrome experience discomfort after consuming high water content foods paired with oils. Fats slow down stomach emptying, while the water from cucumbers dilutes gastric acid, placing additional strain on the digestive system. A recent case at a clinic in Los Angeles highlights this issue. A 38-year-old man who ate salads with olive oil and a large number of cucumbers every day visited a gastroenterologist with complaints of persistent bloating and a heavy sensation in his stomach. Medical tests revealed delayed fat digestion and excessive gas production, which were caused by the incompatibility of these ingredients. To maximize the benefits of olive oil, it is better to pair it with vegetables that contain less water, such as carrots, spinach, or bell peppers. If cucumbers are included in a dish, it is best to add the oil right before serving rather than mixing it in advance. This simple adjustment can help reduce the impact of water on vitamin absorption and prevent digestive discomfort while ensuring that all valuable nutrients are properly absorbed. Mistake 8. Olive oil and rice in sushi, poke, and Buddha bowls. Combining rice with olive oil may seem completely harmless. This pairing is often found in sushi, poke, Buddha bowls, and even some Mediterranean dishes. Many people believe that adding a healthy oil to starchy foods makes the meal more nutritious. However, this combination can actually cause sharp spikes in blood sugar levels, posing a serious risk for individuals with diabetes and metabolic disorders. White rice is a source of fast-digesting carbohydrates, which break down quickly in the body and lead to a rapid rise in blood glucose levels. The glycemic load index varies from 44 to 89, depending on the type of rice and how it is prepared. Adding olive oil slows down the absorption of starches, but at the same time, it interferes with the normal release of insulin. A 2023 study by the American Diabetes Association showed that 64% of individuals with prediabetes experienced fluctuations in blood sugar levels for several hours after consuming meals that contained both starchy foods and fats. This effect is particularly dangerous for individuals with metabolic syndrome. In 2022, the National Institutes of Health in the United States published data indicating that 58% of patients with type 2 diabetes experienced worsening symptoms when they frequently consumed meals high in both carbohydrates and fats. The presence of fat slows down glucose clearance from the bloodstream, increasing insulin resistance and leading to more severe forms of diabetes. Recently, a 45-year-old man in New York was hospitalized after regularly eating poke with olive oil. He reported experiencing sudden blood sugar spikes accompanied by weakness, dizziness, and brain fog. Tests revealed elevated levels of glycated hemoglobin, indicating a worsening of diabetes. Doctors explained that the combination of fast-digesting carbohydrates, rice, and fat, olive oil, delayed the insulin response, leading to chronic high blood sugar levels. To avoid such consequences, it is better to pair rice with sources of protein such as fish, tofu, or chicken. Olive oil should be added in small amounts and preferably after eating low glycemic vegetables. This approach helps balance blood sugar levels and reduces stress on the pancreas. Mistake 9. Olive oil and meat, beef, turkey, pork in burgers, tacos, and burritos. A juicy burger patty seared in olive oil or flavorful pieces of pork in a burrito may seem like common and appetizing meals. Many people believe that replacing regular vegetable oil with olive oil makes their food healthier. However, cooking meat in olive oil at high temperatures can turn it into a source of harmful compounds that increase the risk of developing serious health conditions, including cancer. When olive oil is heated above 190 degrees Celsius, 374 degrees Fahrenheit, the fats begin to oxidize, leading to the formation of toxic aldehydes and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These substances have been linked to an increased risk of cancer. A 23 study from the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center found that regular consumption of fried meat cooked in olive oil increases the risk of colorectal cancer by 32% and the risk of stomach tumors by 27%. This risk is especially high for those who cook meat until it develops a dark, crispy crust. High-temperature cooking produces heterocyclic amines and acrylamide, carcinogenic compounds that promote cellular mutations. In 2022, the National Cancer Institute in the United States published data showing that 49% of individuals who frequently consume well-cooked or charred meat had elevated levels of tumor markers, indicating potential precancerous changes in the body. Doctors at a Miami clinic recently treated a 50-year-old man who ate burgers fried in olive oil every day. He sought medical help due to digestive issues and persistent discomfort in his stomach. A biopsy revealed early-stage precancerous changes in his intestinal lining, requiring an immediate adjustment to his diet. To reduce these risks, it is best to avoid frying meat in olive oil at high temperatures. Healthier alternatives include steaming, baking, or braising the meat while using oils that are more heat-resistant, such as avocado oil or clarified butter. If frying is necessary, it is important to keep the temperature as low as possible and avoid charring the meat. This approach helps preserve the flavor while minimizing health risks. Mistake 10. Olive oil and tuna, canned or fresh, in salads, rolls, and sandwiches. Tuna is a popular choice for salads, rolls, and sandwiches. Its tender meat is rich in protein, healthy fats, and essential amino acids. Adding a bit of olive oil might seem like a way to make the dish even healthier. However, this combination hides a serious risk. Canned tuna often contains mercury, and olive oil can enhance its absorption in the body, increasing the product's toxicity. Mercury is a heavy metal that accumulates in large marine fish, including tuna. According to the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences in the United States, approximately 74% of canned tuna samples contain elevated mercury levels, and in 36% of cases, the concentration exceeds the safe limits for pregnant women. Regular consumption of such tuna can lead to mercury accumulation in the body, which over time may cause neurological disorders, memory impairment, and even kidney dysfunction. Olive oil makes this issue even worse. A 2023 study from the University of California found that the fatty environment of oils promotes faster absorption of lipophilic toxins, including mercury, into the bloodstream. Among participants who consumed canned tuna with oil, blood mercury levels were 27% higher than in those who ate tuna without added fats. This occurs because oils facilitate the transport of toxins through cell membranes, increasing their concentration in body tissues. There is also a risk associated with oxidized fats. Many types of canned tuna are stored in oil, which oxidizes over time, losing its beneficial properties and turning into a source of harmful compounds. Research from the Harvard School of Public Health has shown that regular consumption of oxidized fats raises inflammatory markers in the body by 31%, increasing the risk of cardiovascular diseases and chronic inflammatory conditions. Doctors at a clinic in Chicago recently treated a 43-year-old man who frequently ate salads with canned tuna and olive oil. And he complained of constant fatigue, headaches, and difficulty concentrating. Blood tests revealed elevated mercury levels, which had a toxic effect on his nervous system. To reduce these risks, it is best to choose tuna from verified sources with low mercury content, such as yellowfin or skipjack tuna. Opting for canned fish packed in water instead of oil is a safer choice, and olive oil should be added just before eating to minimize fat oxidation. This approach helps preserve the nutritional benefits of the product while reducing the risk of toxin buildup in the body. Mistake 11. Olive oil and leafy greens, spinach, arugula, lettuce, kale, in salads and smoothies. A light salad with leafy greens and olive oil seems like the perfect example of healthy eating. Spinach, arugula, kale, and lettuce are packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber, while olive oil enhances their flavor and boosts their benefits. However, it is not as simple as it seems. Some leafy greens contain oxalic acid, a compound that binds to calcium and prevents its absorption. Over time, this can lead to serious issues with bone health and kidney function. Oxalic acid is a natural anti-nutrient that interferes with calcium absorption by forming insoluble compounds. A 2023 study from the Harvard School of Public Health found that individuals who regularly consume large amounts of spinach have calcium levels that are 18% lower than those who choose alternative greens. A calcium deficiency increases the risk of osteoporosis, weakens teeth, and makes bones more fragile. Another concern is the strain on the kidneys. When oxalic acid combines with calcium, it forms oxalate crystals, which can accumulate in the kidneys and lead to the formation of stones. According to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases in the United States, 79% of kidney stones contain calcium oxalates, and frequent consumption of spinach and other oxalate-rich foods increases the likelihood of stone formation by 32%. This is particularly risky for individuals who are predisposed to kidney stone development. Doctors at a clinic in Boston recently treated a 41-year-old woman who experienced frequent episodes of kidney pain. It turned out that she drank a smoothie made with spinach and arugula mixed with olive oil every morning, believing it to be the perfect breakfast. However, the continuous intake of oxalic acid led to an accumulation of oxalates in her system, eventually contributing to kidney stone formation. To prevent such issues, it is better to choose leafy greens with lower oxalic acid content, such as lettuce, collard greens, or Swiss chard. If spinach is a regular part of the diet, cooking it can help. Boiling reduces oxalic acid levels by 30 to 40%. To further minimize calcium loss, pairing leafy greens with calcium-rich foods such as almond milk or low-fat cheese can be beneficial. This approach allows for maximum nutritional benefits without unnecessary health risks. Mistake 12. Olive oil and legumes like beans and chickpeas in Mexican dishes, hummus, and salads. Beans, chickpeas, and other legumes have long been considered an excellent source of plant-based protein and fiber. They are a key ingredient in many popular dishes, including Mexican tacos and burritos, Middle Eastern hummus, hearty salads, and stews. Adding olive oil to these meals might seem like the healthiest choice, but there is a hidden issue. Legumes contain anti-nutrients that can interfere with fat absorption, reducing the nutritional value of the dish and potentially causing uncomfortable side effects. Phytic acid and protease inhibitors, which are naturally present in beans and chickpeas, make it harder for the body to break down and absorb fats and certain minerals. A 2022 study from the University of Illinois found that 41% of people who consumed legumes with oils experienced a 27% reduction in the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. This means that even if olive oil is part of the meal, the body may not fully benefit from its nutrients. Another important factor is how legumes affect digestion. They contain oligosaccharides, complex carbohydrates that can cause bloating, gas, and digestive discomfort. In 2023, the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases in the United States published data showing that 68% of individuals with irritable bowel syndrome experienced worsened symptoms after consuming legumes in combination with fats. This occurs because fats slow down digestion, while anti-nutrients in beans increase the strain on the digestive system. Doctors at a gastroenterology clinic in Los Angeles recently treated a 36-year-old man who ate hummus with olive oil every day, believing it to be the perfect snack. Over time, he started experiencing persistent heaviness in his stomach and a noticeable drop in energy levels. Blood tests revealed that his levels of fat-soluble vitamins were significantly below the normal range, leading to dry skin, vision problems, and a weakened immune system. To avoid these issues, beans and chickpeas should be soaked for at least 8 hours before cooking. This process reduces the levels of anti-nutrients by 40 to 50%. Cooking also plays a crucial role, as boiling legumes can break down up to 80% of protease inhibitors, improving fat absorption. When it comes to hummus, it is best to add olive oil right before serving, rather than mixing it into the chickpeas beforehand to minimize the effects of anti-nutrients. This approach allows you to enjoy the full benefits of each ingredient while avoiding potential health concerns. Mistake 13. Olive oil and onions, red, green, yellow, in salads, tacos, and guacamole. Onions are one of the most widely used ingredients in cuisines around the world. They add a bold flavor to dishes, enhance taste, and even have natural antiseptic properties. Olive oil, on the other hand, is rich in antioxidants and healthy fats. However, combining these two ingredients may not be as beneficial as it seems. The reason lies in the sulfur-containing compounds found in onions, which can trigger a chemical reaction that accelerates the oxidation of oils. Fat oxidation is a process in which beneficial fatty acids break down and transform into harmful compounds. A 2023 study from the University of North Carolina found that when olive oil comes into contact with sulfur compounds, the level of lipid peroxides, key markers of oxidation, increases by 39%. This means that the oil not only loses its health benefits, but may also become harmful, as oxidized fats contribute to inflammation and cellular damage. This combination is particularly concerning for cardiovascular health. In 2022, the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute in the United States conducted a study showing that regular consumption of oxidized fats increases the risk of atherosclerosis by 28%. This speeds up the buildup of cholesterol plaques in the arteries, potentially leading to high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, and even strokes. Additionally, storing a mixture of olive oil and onions in the refrigerator does not stop the oxidation process. Over time, the oil loses most of its antioxidant properties. Recently, doctors at a Miami clinic examined a 47-year-old man who had been eating pre-prepared salads with onions and olive oil for years. Blood tests showed high levels of oxidized lipids, which were linked to chronic fatigue and vascular inflammation. To avoid these risks, it is best not to mix olive oil and onions ahead of time. Instead, they should be added to dishes just before eating. Another option is to use cooked onions instead of raw ones. Heat partially breaks down sulfur compounds, reducing their impact on fats. This approach allows both ingredients to retain their health benefits without posing unnecessary risks. Mistake 14. Olive oil with lemon and lime in avocado dressings and guacamole. Lemon juice and olive oil are a classic combination, often used in dressings, marinades, and sauces. Many people believe that adding a few drops of citrus juice along with olive oil to fresh vegetables or avocado not only enhances the flavor, but also makes the dish healthier. However, there is a hidden risk that few consider. The acidity in lemon and lime speeds up the oxidation of olive oil, turning it from a beneficial ingredient into a source of harmful compounds. Oxidation of oils is a process where fatty acids break down when exposed to oxygen, light, and heat, leading to the formation of free radicals. These unstable molecules damage cells and contribute to inflammation. A 2023 study from the Harvard School of Public Health found that adding acidic components like lemon or lime juice to olive oil increases lipid peroxide levels, a key marker of oxidation, by 52%. This means that even a small amount of acid can reduce the oil's benefits and, in some cases, make it potentially harmful to health. Free radicals produced in oxidized oil damage cell membranes and accelerate the body's aging process. In 2022, the National Institute on Aging in the United States published findings showing that 61% of individuals with chronic inflammatory conditions such as arthritis, diabetes, and heart disease had elevated levels of oxidized fats in their bloodstream, which worsened their conditions. Regular consumption of foods high in oxidized lipids was also linked to a 29% higher risk of developing cancer. It is especially risky to mix oil with acid in advance and store the combination for several days. Doctors at a clinic in San Francisco recently examined a 45-year-old man who ate salads daily with a pre-made dressing of lemon juice and olive oil. His blood tests showed high levels of oxidized lipids, which were associated with inflammation in his blood vessels and an increased risk of atherosclerosis. To preserve the health benefits of olive oil, it is best to add it to dishes just before eating, rather than mixing it with acidic liquids ahead of time. If you still want to use lemon or lime juice, it should be added separately to avoid accelerating the breakdown of healthy fats. This simple adjustment can help prevent oxidation and protect the health of your cells and blood vessels. Mistake 15. Olive oil in salads, pasta, and spreads. Olive oil has long been considered a symbol of healthy eating. It is used as a dressing for salads, drizzled over pasta, and added to hummus and spreads, often praised as a good fat that only benefits the body. However, even the healthiest foods can become a problem when consumed in excess. Overuse of olive oil can overwhelm the liver, disrupt fat metabolism, and contribute to inflammatory processes that may lead to weight gain and serious health conditions. The liver plays a key role in processing fats. When too much fat is consumed, the liver has to work beyond its normal capacity. A 2023 study by the American Gastroenterological Association found that 48% of individuals who regularly consumed more than 50 grams of olive oil per day showed signs of fatty liver disease. This buildup of excess fat in the liver can cause inflammation and tissue fibrosis. If dietary habits are not adjusted in time, the risk of developing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease increases by 37%. But that is not the only concern. Excess fat in the diet can lead to weight gain and metabolic imbalances. According to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases in the United States, 62% of individuals struggling with obesity consume high amounts of vegetable oils without realizing that even healthy fats, when overconsumed, can be stored as body fat. Olive oil contains 884 kilocalories per 100 grams, making it one of the most calorie-dense foods. Even a slight excess can create an energy imbalance and contribute to weight gain. Doctors at a Florida clinic recently treated a 39-year-old woman who believed that consuming large amounts of olive oil daily was helping her maintain good health. She poured it over her salads, added it to pasta and smoothies, reaching a daily intake of 70 grams. After several years, she was diagnosed with non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, an inflammatory liver condition caused by excessive fat accumulation. To maximize the benefits of olive oil while avoiding potential health risks, moderation is essential. The optimal intake for a healthy individual is no more than 20 to 30 grams per day. It is best to use olive oil fresh as a dressing rather than adding it to every meal without limitation. Additionally, rotating it with other healthy fats such as nuts, avocados, flaxseed oil, or coconut oil can help maintain a balanced diet. This approach allows you to reap the benefits of healthy fats without overloading the liver or disrupting metabolism. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.